All right, so I think I'll start by asking you, now that you're an official New Jerseyan, what's your favorite part about living in New Jersey?
No, I don't even know if I've lived here long enough to say I have a favorite part, but I guess if I had to pick something, I can definitely think of some things I don't like about New Jersey.
Ooh, go on. Let's talk about it, please.
The fact that things are closed on Sundays. I don't know what is going on with that, but I can't go to Target on a Sunday and grab some or go to a grocery store and grab some milk or whatever it is. Like Target's closed on Sundays, bro.
You know what it is? I think in like the specific area of New Jersey you live in, things are just like inherently closed on Sunday for some reason. Because like in my area, like I'm a little bit like farther like east than you, so like things are open like slightly later. But the farther south down you go, it's even worse, bro. Like things close at like 9 o'clock on like Saturday in like Central and South Jersey. It like makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, we still haven't explored too much, but yeah, I've heard and we've been told that like it's not like this everywhere. So I'm like, why is it like this? Why am I unable to shop on Sunday and get things? Like I have to take into account on Sundays that I can't go and like get food at certain places because it's just not open on a Sunday. So
I think after you watch enough episodes of The Sopranos, the rest of the map unlocks, so you'll be able to go things at a later time. So
yeah, I think it's that and jug handles. I don't know why I hate those, man.
You know what it is,
U-turn.
Dude. You know what it is. Like I've grown so accustomed to the jug handle. Like I've lived here my entire life, so like it's like breathing to me when I see one. When I try to make a U-turn in another state, I'm like having like a massive anxiety attack. I'm just like, there's no way I can do this. Like there has to be like, what do you mean I can like turn left to turn left? I don't have to turn right to turn left. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, my brain can't. You just gotta make it happen. You just gotta go for it, it's part of the experience. Actually no. Now we talk about this, I will say one thing I like, at least not for since I was living in the city, technically being in the Bronx. I can now make rights on red.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Freedom right there. That's game changing.
Yeah. Listen, there's some redeeming qualities here. Diners are open 24/7. You can turn right on red. The Sopranos and Jersey Shore. That's about it.
You have Six Flags.
Yeah.
Cool. I love Six Flags.
Big fan. Absolute big fan. Anyway, folks, welcome to the newest episode of the Glentendo Podcast, hosted by Not Glentendo this week. As always, this is a weekly Super Smash Bros. Community / Nintendo Galaxy Brain take podcast. But Glenn, being the peanut brain that he is, decided to take a vacation this week. Weakling. Taking your vacation before Labor Day, cringe. IMO. But nonetheless, though, Glenn has given me the keys to the Ferrari. He's allowing me to drive an episode of his show this week. So for all you early access patrons and so on and so forth, listen, welcome to the Coop Show. But I couldn't do this by myself. Glenn would not let me have the glory of driving the show by myself this week. So he said I can bring a friend with me. And, given the circumstances of what I wanted to talk about this week, there's some interesting topics of conversation. I couldn't think of a better person asked than my fellow esports brethren / podcast host / all around good dude. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. And for the first time without Glenn here, I was able to get guests on his show. Amazing. My man, Dak City, Dakota. Brother man, how you doing?
Yeah, Kyle, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it, and I'm very glad to be doing the show with you finally. I've been looking forward to it. So I'm also hoping that he's paying you to do this. So Glenn, if you're listening, which you should be because it's your own show, you should be paying my man.
Let's get it trending. Hashtag pay us. We'll get it working with this episode. So this is some editing notes for you, Glenn. He actually did leave in the notes that again, Glenn is on vacation this week. He should be back for next week's episode, so he will be back in time for the Pan Ultimate episode before episode 50. So
nice.
He's out in the hills of Oregon. And he actually said, weird place to vacation. Listen, weird place to vacation, but after binge watching Gravity Falls over the past year, kind of dig it. I'm kind of in on Oregon now. I don't know.
What's in Oregon? Like who goes to Oregon voluntarily?
I think if you're like into like the trees and like the woods and stuff.
Does he have family there?
I honestly I don't know. I think he does have family out there. If I'm
Okay.
he'll correct.
That's what
me.
he says.
Yeah.
But he's actually like just out there by himself or something.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
he's got some liquid assets out in I don't know, in Spokane.
I know it is
That's
beautiful out there though.
Yeah, no, I've been that's been like a state I've like wanted to travel to for a while. I'm not even that big of an outdoors guy, but like I'm definitely I fuck with it. I vibe with it. But yeah, so Glenn is out for the week, and he actually put in the notes for the episode that I wrote that because we are going to be talking about a little bit of everything, a little bit of Smash Summit, Smash Ultimate Summit happened this weekend, a little bit of that Metroid trailer that just dropped. And Glenn actually said he's been on a a media blackout for Metroid Dread, so he won't be listening to this segment.
Oh yeah,
of the show
yeah, you're
which,
right.
Yeah,
he won't be listening.
Yeah, he won't be talking. He won't be listening to us talk about that last Metroid.
So we can say whatever we want because
Yeah,
he's not going to be listening to this episode. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, listen, Glenn, you know where my address is. Put the check in the mail. But yeah, so Glenn wanted me to leave you a note, Dak, that he can only be on the podcast because you got him a $600 giant Ridley statue for his birthday, and he's really just waiting for you to give him your home address so we can come pick it up at 4 a.m. with a ski mask. So, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, he's right. It's certainly for him. I mean, not only did he give me the privilege and honor of being on his show, but I'm also going to give him the Ridley statue, which is only what he deserves. So yeah, I'm excited to open that thing. I still haven't opened it actually.
Oh, I'm sure it's sick. Is that one of those like first 4 figures? Or
yeah.
Like one of dude. The second I get into like any sort of like liquid income, like I just want to buy one of those so bad.
The thing is that I got it when I had a slightly bigger apartment in the Bronx. And or rather I ordered it like 2 years ago before the pandemic, so I didn't get it until this year when I was moving, and so now I have it. I'm still like not entirely unpacked. I'm still trying to figure out where to put stuff. I'm like, where do I put this thing? This thing's huge. It's too big.
That classic Ridley problem rearing its ugly head in person. On the subject of getting packages like way later than you were supposed to, I just got I ordered the limited run Scott Pilgrim game in January of 2020, and I just got it like 2 weeks ago. So
wow,
yeah, that was gotta love the postage system, and
I
also
feel your pain.
Limited run, yeah, it's rough.
Oh my god, as we're talking right now, I'm getting another flash flood warning.
Oh yeah. So as at the time of us recording this, we are in the midst of a massive rainstorm as a result of Hurricane Ida that's been sweeping through the South. So as of right now, I think we're both okay. But if this episode never happens, Glenn, it's because my power went out, or both of us got hit by trees, or swept up in a tornado, or all three. We're not totally sure yet, but we will continue on until the elements say not to. But listen, as we move on here, Dakota, for the people at home that might not be privy to what you do, why don't you give us a little bit of a synopsis of what your footprint on the internet is?
Oh, sure. I mean, I guess to be brief, I suppose. I mean, Smash community wise, I've been in the Smash community since the Brawl days, competing in like the New York, New Jersey area. Got into commentary, running tournaments and whatnot. I ran Smash Attack, which was a Smash 4 series, a tournament series out of Brooklyn at a next level. And yeah, I've been doing commentary for Smash for a while. I moved over to Overwatch. I did some Overwatch Contenders. So Overwatch Contenders China, but it was still Overwatch Contenders. I've been doing some Valorant lately. And yeah, I mean, I just, commentate. I go to tournaments. I, try to, enjoy esports and enjoy games and whatnot. I stream here and there. I do some hosting. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of Valorant, some Smash, and looking forward to Halo coming up soon. But, I'm involved in that kind of like esports stuff, involved in commentary, tournament organizing, playing as well, and everywhere in between.
Yeah, listen, and again, just like a general homie, it's one of those things where we've known each other for a long time, but like I can't even like pinpoint how long it's been, just because like we've just been friends for so long. And again, Glenn, I think it's safe to say Glenn wants us to say he's our friend. I think I'm gonna give him that that privilege. It's like
I
Glenn,
played Mafia with him. I think we're friends.
yeah, there we go.
You know,
Until it's time to kill you. So,
until he
but
comes and steals my Ridley statue.
yeah, with a ski mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, it's a pleasure to have you on. This is gonna be a lot of fun because we got some fun things to talk about. Obviously some of the biggest topics of the last week being Smash Ultimate Summit 3 happened again as we trickle back into a state of offline Smash. That's something that happened. Nintendo dropped one last Metroid trailer, even though they probably shouldn't have, and some smaller stuff like an app that's been out on other services for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years is finally coming to the Switch. So nothing out of the ordinary there, but something quick that I want to touch on before we get into the meat of everything is something that we've talked about the last few weeks on this podcast, and that's Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, because I know you're also a big you got some stock bought into that, and the official Twitter account did something that not even like other fighting games usually do. They dropped an entire moveset chart for one of their characters. So it was earlier this afternoon. I think it was around like 12:30. The official Twitter account for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl dropped a in-depth look at SpongeBob SquarePants' moveset. So there's a lot of referential stuff in there. Obviously, SpongeBob's got like the big karate gloves. There's an animation where it looks like he's doing that tripping thing. Like it, there's a still from the show where he like slips on ice or something, and that like looks like one of his dash attacks. But yeah, listen, Dak, as someone who's just as excited for this game as I am, what's your take on SpongeBob's moveset, and what could we kind of expect from this game? With other characters, because there's definitely some weird oddities here.
Dude, I don't know what to expect because like Slap City was a weird game, and SpongeBob could be like he could be anything coming from this. I just love how referential it is. There's so many cool moves that are just referencing like different episodes and whatnot. Like at least it's authentic in terms of the move sets of the characters. Like I don't think it has voice acting or anything, but at least it's true to the shows, which is cool. And I think SpongeBob I love the imagination. Like that's awesome. It's my favorite one, and he's obviously got to have the karate glove and whatnot, the spatula, the jellyfish net looks crazy. He has a lot of disjointed moves. This guy, I feel like SpongeBob's going to be good. I have no idea what he's going to be, and I feel like I have no idea how any of the characters are really going to end up being, except like the Avatar and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are probably going to be good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I have no idea how anyone else is going to be, but. I love that they posted this. I think it's really funny that they just like unprompted posted SpongeBob's moveset and now everyone's talking about it, which is cool because I saw a lot of people on Twitter and Reddit elsewhere kind of like, oh, like they posted like the debut trailer and they showed off the game and then there hasn't been any news for a while. It was only like a month, but like people were like, where's the news? Where's the news? And now like they've gotten the new characters and they're posting a bit more, and now they're posting this moveset, so I'm assuming they're going to post more movesets and probably some other stuff too. So I like that they're posting stuff as we get closer to launch. It's like a month away, which I'm hyped for because I can't wait to play.
Yeah, I guess we're riding on like that leaked release date. I think it was like October 15th or something, or something.
I think so, yeah. October 5th or something like that. I think that's actually happening.
Yeah, that's crazy that this game like kind of the cycle of which these games get released now in a COVID release schedule is kind of nuts. But yeah, I'm definitely with you in how this move looks. Again, it's very referential. It looks super cool. I love that like the use of the imagination and that weird chomp move, like which I think is a reference to like when Patrick's parents came to visit him and like SpongeBob had to be stupider than Patrick, so he just bites him. If that's what the reference are going for, yeah, that's a super deep cut. But again, I feel like this is the game for that because how many people of over the age of 20 knew who, and that's even pushing it, who knew who Powder Toast Man was, when they first dropped this game. So it's definitely catering not only to that newer crowd of Nickelodeon characters, but also to the young, to the people that might have been around, for those older cartoons. And I think there's a couple of oddities here is that doesn't look like, obviously we come from the Super Smash Brothers community. So, we're used to a certain style of how movesets lay out, whether it be with, tilt attacks and special moves. And from the two jarring things for me is that it doesn't look like there's any input for a back aerial. And it looks like it's going Smash 64 style where there's no side specials whatsoever, which I think is an interesting choice.
Yeah, it didn't look complete to me. So I'm not sure if maybe they just didn't show off all the moves. Like maybe just for some reason they didn't show them all, or yeah, maybe I guess that's like a different kind of move set that doesn't match like the modern Smash move set. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try. I did notice that. I thought that was a little weird because it didn't feel like they were showing off all of like if they were going for like a 1-to-1 for Smash, like they don't have that right here. So but I guess they have kind of mentioned that in like interviews and some other things where they're not trying to do exactly just Smash with, Nickelodeon characters. They're kind of still trying to do their own thing. So maybe this is part of that. I'm not sure, but still, I'm gonna be hopeful and hope it's not like it. I mean, Smash 64 is still cool. So if it feels
Yeah.
like that, like that's fine.
Yeah, I've said on the last couple of weeks that like even if like the worst case scenario for this game is like, what Rivals of Aether is like now, where it's like, it's usually at the big majors with Smash events. It has its own circuit of things. You might not break into viewership that, other platform fighters and fighting games might get, but it has a very dedicated, cultish group of players. I think that's great. And I think a game with an IP as attached as big as Nickelodeon, this game can't like not be successful in like any way, shape, or form. So I'm really excited for. Is there a character that you're like excited to play? Like who's your day one main when you play this game?
Right now, Cat Dog for sure.
Nice, my man.
Yes, definitely love Cat Dog. Reptar, also a character that I am looking forward to playing. I mean, all the SpongeBob characters, definitely Sandy for sure, and Patrick. And if they show off some other ones, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how many characters are really going to be left. They really just have to show off like Ren and Stimpy and the Avatar characters. That's pretty much it. So I'm thinking if that's like the full roster, like Nigel Thornberry is really cool. I like that they added him, so I'm gonna try him out. But yeah, Cat Dog is certainly the character that I'm looking forward to playing the most. Very much excited. I'm very happy that Cat Dog's in the game.
Yeah, we had that bonding moment a few weeks ago where we both realized we had the same
Yeah, we
Cat
had
Dog
the
plush
toy. Yeah.
Dude, I took that thing with me everywhere for I think like I remember vividly like when I got that toy. It was for my 5th birthday from one of my mom's friends. And I took that thing with me everywhere for I think the next like 5 or 6 years before it like eventually just like tore from like wear and tear. Like that toy was sick. I think people forget how like good and like popular of a show Cat Dog was because like it didn't have like the longevity of some of these other Nickelodeon cartoons, but it was still like I loved that show growing up.
Yeah, I mean it was part of like a large group of shows that I watched at the time. So like not every show had the longevity of like SpongeBob or Fairly Odd Parents or whatever, but they were still like fun and memorable shows. And as a kid, like I don't know, I didn't need like 100,000 episodes. I could repeat the same 30, 40, 50 episodes or whatever. I'd be fine. I don't even know how many seasons Cat Dog has. I think it's
It
a
went
few.
for 4 seasons,
Yeah,
which is
3 or
not
4
bad.
seasons.
That's
Yeah.
not
So
bad at
like
all.
that's like more than enough to as a kid, like that's 3 or 4 years of Cat Dog content. That's pretty solid Cat Dog era right there. And even to this day, Cat Dog's still showing up. So clearly there's some longevity. It has made an impact on the culture.
Yeah.
So love to see
It
it.
had a great TV movie, teaches about finding your parents. That was a fun
Wait,
one.
there was a Cat Dog movie?
It was like one of those like direct to TV like hour-long episode type deals.
Okay, it
So
wasn't like one of the Rugrats movies or anything
no,
like
no, no,
that.
no, no.
Okay,
God, that would have
okay.
been hype though.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I was like, because there's no way I would have missed a Cat Dog in theaters movie. All right, okay.
Yeah, I think it's called like Parents' Day or something. Oh yeah, it's called Cat Dog and the Great Parent Mystery.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's like so. I think because it was part of the.
Oh
last
yeah, I
season.
remember this monster thing with the eyes and
yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, I remember this. Okay.
Yeah. Fun fact: the Cat Dog's father, which is a frog, voiced by Billy Bob Thornton. So
Really?
yeah,
Billy Bob Thornton. Wow. Cat Dog. Yeah, Cat Dog has just a great cast. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
Awesome
definitely a character I'm excited to play. Also, I'm big on Danny Phantom stock and like whichever Avatar
Mhm.
character is more broken than the other. So
Mhm.
yeah, give me that sauce. But as we move past that, we again get into again as we mentioned, we talk about Super Smash Brothers sometimes on this show, and what a better time to talk about it than Super Smash Ultimate Summit happening this past weekend. Obviously, if you're not familiar with how Summit works, we've mentioned it passingly in the last few weeks of the show, but it is an invitational style Smash tournament held at a gaming house, more or less in California. There's a handful of invited players. I think it's like 8 invited players, and like 6 players get voted in via a fan vote. And then said players compete over the course of 4 days in in pools matches and other various side events, including things like Mafia and like outdoor events like water balloon, tic tac toe. Great choice for this year's summit, by the way. But yeah, this is one of the first big events featuring like some of the again the top 10 ish players in the world at the time. Because I believe they, if I remember correctly, like I think they like announced that Summit was happening like before COVID happened, and because I think Dark Wizzy like won a tournament in Australia, and he got invited to go. It was a Summit qualifier, so he got to go to Summit, and I think the same deal was for Spargo on that also. Where like they got invited via some like out, they got grandfathered in via some stuff that happened before COVID. Along with like some of the players that got voted in over maybe a PGR that was a little outdated, but nonetheless, though, it happened this weekend. Homeboy Tweak, New Jersey player, ended up winning the whole thing over the likes of MKLeo and Mars. So, Dak, how did you consume a lot of Summit this weekend?
Admittedly, I did not watch too much Summit, but I did watch a good amount. I watched mostly for Trevor's matches or Adamisk.
Yes.
Those were, so like Adamisk versus Dark Wizzy, that was my set of the weekend, like easily. So I watched a bunch of that. I watched some of the later sets, and then I kind of skipped around here and there, but I didn't watch all of it. And I also I watched DeBuzz try to build a doghouse, I think.
Yes.
I definitely remember seeing that, and I remember at one point someone saying how like he had like the roof as like the bottom of the doghouse or something like that, and he like completely messed it up. And then like these are our top players, and then the tic tac toe, the water balloon tic tac toe, whatever. Well, that was funny. I like that, so I watched that. So yeah, I didn't watch all of it. Like I wasn't tuned in for the entirety of it, but I watched a decent amount.
Yeah, this is it's weird because whenever Summit kind of like comes around, number one, it usually sneaks up on me, and like I just kind of was like, oh yeah, I'll watch this when it's on this weekend, and then like I'll maybe watch like a couple of like the random events. Like I usually like to watch Mafia because Mafia is fun.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch any of that.
I watched a bit of it. This is actually the most Summit I've like ever consumed, like ever across all of the formats they've done it. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I just kind of like it kind of number one, I was pretty invested in this one. Obviously, Adamisk, one of our very good friends, another New Jersey player that got voted in, and then like Tweak was there, and like a bunch of players that like I enjoy watching, like ended up getting voted in. And so I was like, okay, I found myself home this weekend, and I just kind of parked myself on my computer and I watched Summit like, for essentially all weekend, which was dope. So I thought the event was a lot of fun. Obviously, watching your friends succeed is a good time. And listen, that top 8 bracket was gnarly. The whole event was great. I think this is the first time ever in Summit history where like all 6 of the vote-ins won at least one set this weekend.
Really?
Which is crazy. From what I've been told, that's never happened at a Summit before. 3 of the vote-ins ended up on winner side of the bracket. I don't know if that's just product of maybe it's a product of Rust, maybe it's a product of maybe things are a little bit closer than they were when people got voted in, got selected in initially. But nonetheless, though, it was a fun bracket to watch. I'm curious what your take is on, does it feel like offline is like back now, like officially now that we had like one of these big like of tournaments with all these like a lot of everyone's favorite top players, and does it officially feel like that like we're getting back into the swing of things with like majors happening every few weekends?
Well, I mean, I definitely still find like offline exciting for sure. Like that's always going to be exciting. Like having the crowd there or having just people in person interact with each other rather than just being at home like in their bedroom. Like that's something you can't really compare. I don't think this is like, we're back though because you still need like there have been some pretty big events here and there as things start to quote unquote go back to normal and whatnot, but
Right.
back before the pandemic, we had majors, way more frequently. Like, yeah, locals are back, true. But I think like we haven't gotten back to that point yet. But people want to go back to that. So I think that excitement's still there. The demand for that's still there. The anticipation for that is still there. And we do have some majors like coming up soon too, which is hype. So I'm hoping that doesn't get ruined by any variant stuff. But yeah, I mean, I still think that it's exciting, even though like we didn't have like a true crowd here, other than like the occasional pop off from people also in the house.
Yeah.
I think having that the players actually there in a physical place together, and like the commentators together, and the post game interviews, like all that makes a huge difference. So I like having that. That even that kind of stuff I think is exciting. But when we really get back to larger events more frequently and with bigger crowds, hopefully soon, that's the real true bread and butter of offline like actual Smash. So we haven't gotten there just yet, but I think hopefully we're heading there soon.
Yeah, I echo a lot of those same sentiments. Like some takeaways that I had is that, offline is still like great to watch. Like I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
kind of maybe felt a little bit like stale with the game over the past year and however many months, and rightfully so, because like Nintendo's online experience has not been great for most people. And just to watch, these players that just be able to like do things like properly without like the guise of like Wi-Fi delay or anything like that. It was just so much fun to watch. It was so refreshing, to watch players that you knew have been good for a while continue to be to be good in an offline setting. Like Cola was someone that comes to mind because he was killing it all weekend. He was super dope to watch. Void, another fan favorite, was great this weekend, and Sheik might be kind of good.
Yeah.
That might I don't think that's much of a hot take, but that character was fun to watch. And I think another takeaway is that, hey, Diddy Kong is still really good in Super Smash Brothers, because Tweak, I think, only dropped after going 0-2 in pools the first day, and everyone was just like, "Oh, Tweak's washed," Papinga or whatever. Yeah, like
I love seeing the chat being like someone like loses a game or like a stock and they're like washed, and then like the player like comes back or something like, wow, so good. I mean, obviously it's not all the same people, but I think it's just funny because I don't know, just the ebb and flow of the chat. Sometimes it gets a little much, but it is funny to watch. Yeah, I mean, I still think that kind of excitement for offline is there. I mean, you made a good point, like how you just have better quality gameplay and that consistency from players who have that skill, where you can't really get that in like online play, just because you can't have the same kind of consistency with Wi-Fi. You just can't, and in Nintendo Online or whatever. So when you're playing offline, you can have that kind of consistency in the gameplay and the quality of competition, which makes for a better viewing experience and makes for a better competitive experience and makes it a better experience for everybody. So yeah, I'm very much happy that we can have top players come together and actually play the game offline, because they can give us they can do things like adapt and download properly and come back and actually play the game like it's really meant to be played, and
yeah.
not with
Listen,
how the online environment is.
Yeah, listen, being able to react to things is great. I think one of my favorite side events they did this weekend is they had a Wi-Fi Warriors bracket in which
Oh
they
yeah, I saw that too. Okay, yeah.
yeah, if you're not, I highly recommend everybody go watch this. But essentially, I believe what the gist of it was is that whoever was competing in this bracket, they were playing with like I think they were playing with like spirits or on, where like it like emulates like the worst possible like Wi-Fi setting you could be playing on, where there's like 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 6 frames of delay, like somebody like decides to torrent like 8 seasons of your favorite show, like
Yeah,
on,
that was the thing. It was like it was moving. It wasn't just like bad, connection. It was like, okay, it would be a little bad, it would be a little bit of lag, and then all of a sudden it would spike and it would go up a lot and then it'd go back down. Like, oh my god, this is horrible. Like once you like kind of see it from that perspective, it makes you think.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think. Like, and I've definitely had those moments when I've played the game on Wi-Fi over the past year, where I'm just like, I could have been doing anything else right now. Like like even the most mundane things. Like I could be like doing laundry. I could be like, I don't know, reading a book, touching grass, picking up a football. One of
Exactly.
those things. So, but again, it was a lot of fun to watch, and we are going to get some momentum, moving forward, at least into like the later part of the year, because by the time of this recording, Dakota, it's September already. Like Riptide's
It
in a
is.
week. It's gonna be pumpkin spice season soon. Like I'm not ready for that. The year is
Soon
like
it is.
melting
It's
by.
September. It's the
Dude,
people are getting it. I'm getting apple cider next time I go to the store.
ooh man, that sounds great right
I
now.
love apple cider, man. Are you going to Riptide, by the way?
I am going to Riptide. I
Oh,
will
have
be
fun.
there.
Have fun.
Yes, thank you. I will have responsible and safe fun because we are still in the midst of a pandemic. So if I don't know who you are, please don't try to touch me. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to just have like a proper vacation and just kind of like hang out with people after a while. And like we said, a little bit of momentum here. There's main stage happening next month as well. I think the big house is going to be online again this year, which is a disappointment, but still going to be a lot of fun to watch. And, with things coming up on the horizon, hopefully nothing is, set back, like you mentioned, by any more variants of the coronavirus. But, I think a lot more of the TOs are starting to take things like, slightly more seriously, with all that in mind. So, we hope that things are able to go off without a hitch because, again, the game is so good offline. I just can't stand to watch, after having a back for so long, I don't want to have to go back to like, what we had.
I'm really hoping we can get back to it, man. I have the next two like Smash majors I'm planning to go to are CEO. I mean, that's not a Smash major, but Smash will be there. CEO, and then Let's Make Big Moves. So Let's Make Big Moves. I'm confident, and that's going to be good, and hopefully not nothing goes wrong with that. But I'm excited for that. It's going to be an awesome event, of course, and I'm very much excited for that. But CEO's in Florida. So, like that has me feeling like, Let's Make Big Moves is in New York. It's in the Big Apple, so like it's all good. Like Max and Joe, they're doing, vaccination checks and whatnot. Like that's all cool. Jabali can't do that in CEO.
Yeah.
So, that's I'm kind of like, I've got my reservations and I'm seeing the reports. I'm like, but it's CEO, but
yeah,
my life.
Yeah, the pros is that it's CEO. The cons is Florida.
It's in Florida, yeah, man. I'm just like,
insert the gif of Bugs Bunny sawing off Florida, like right here. So
it's a shame because I'm glad that he is running this one in Orlando because I prefer that venue to the Daytona venue. But now I'm just like, geez, man, just run it. Come up here, and we'll find you something up here, man. You can have it up here.
There's a Florida, New York. Like he can very much run it there. Like we'll find workarounds.
Or you can run it in Long Island, which is the Florida of New York. So there you go.
Oh man, like shout out to Long Island with an asterisk, I think is what I'll leave that at. But yeah, listen, Summit was a lot of fun. I highly recommend everybody go watch the VODs. It was again the most Summit I've ever consumed. It was a lot of fun to watch. Again, congratulations to Tweak for winning, beating MKLeo twice in pretty dominating fashion. Like, definitely nothing to scoff at. Going to be fun to see how that momentum gets carried into things like, Riptide, like we said. But now this is the part of the podcast. Glenn, flash up a spoiler warning. I'm going to make you do some work this week. So this is a spoiler warning for anybody that is listening. We are going to be talking about that last Metroid Dread trailer that just dropped. So if you're on a media sabbatical like Glenn and don't want to, be spoiled, skip ahead in the video where we'll talk about some other stuff in a bit. But listen, when Glenn gave me free reins of the show to talk about news this week, I couldn't think I had to get, the host of the co-host of a Metroid podcast on here to talk about this last trailer and if it was really necessary or not. So we're going to get into the meat of things. Obviously, it's no secret. Nintendo's really been pushing hard. Metroid Dread drops next month. It comes out October?
October 10th, I think.
I think you're right.
I should know this. I said October 8th. There it is.
We were close.
I was off by 48 hours. October 8th.
Yeah, so that game comes out in a bit. So Nintendo again has been pushing it very, very hard on their social media, across their YouTube pages and stuff. Again, kind of showing up like an absent father for the last like 35 years of Metroid content, really, trying to get involved here. And they dropped a trailer the last couple of days, and you and again of other Metroid fans in my area have had the opinions like, yeah, this trailer is great, but like, don't watch this if you want to like have anything in the game that's not spoiled for you. So again, we are going to talk about it. But Dakota, as the Metroid aficionado, you want to break down this last trailer that just came out?
Oh yeah, to break it down, so it's to be honest, I don't really think it's that spoilery. Most of the trailer, like fundamentally, I think most of the trailer it has a bunch of cutscenes involving Samus and getting involved with one of the Dark Chozo from the memories, the Chozo memories from Samus Returns, and it's something that's been teased throughout, since Metroid Dread's reveal earlier in the year. So we've kind of always known that the Dark Chozo are going to be involved in some way. Well, they're being really involved because there's one literally like attacking and fighting Samus. There's a bunch of gameplay that we can see some new upgrades where she has like the seeker missiles again. She has like an missile. She has like an air dash, which was sick. That was so
sick.
awesome. That looked like an Aeon ability to me. And then of course there was also I can just say it, right? Like that we've already said.
Okay. If you made it this far, we're spoiling it.
That's true. The real spoiler is that Kraid, or what looks like Kraid, shows up or is chained to a wall, and Samus kind of shows up, and you can see that there's an obvious boss fight that's going to happen. There's a cutscene of Samus running up Kraid's like body, Shadow of the Colossus style. It's really awesome. And and then we see some more Samus and Chozo stuff. The Chozo like raging demon Samus, and then like chokes her out, and that was pretty cool. And yeah, it was awesome. I thought it was a great trailer. I think it was great. So I was very happy to see that. It was a really awesome surprise when that dropped. So awesome trailer, best one so far.
Yeah, no, I agree. And listen, I've said it on multiple episodes of the show. I'm a pretty like casual Metroid fan. Like I've played maybe like I've played like maybe I don't know an hour of Super Metroid. I've played Metroid Prime 1, and then that's pretty much about it. But I've been very, very excited to play this game. So I watched the trailer and I'm just like, yeah, like all the new power ups look sick. Like Samus with an air dash is cool. Like the seeking missiles are cool, and all like the stuff with the Dark Chozo is also looks really cool. And then I saw Kraid show up. I'm just like, oh shit, it's Kraid. Like that's cool. But like I didn't know that was necessarily a spoiler at the time because a lot of people that I know in like that follow a lot of Metroid circles were like, yeah, don't watch this trailer if you want to like be have anything left to be surprised about in the game. So like,
well, that's
I'll put a question to you. Like, do you think that we needed this trailer? Like,
yeah, definitely. Needed. Here's the thing: is that I don't. Well, first of all, the whole notion that like, oh, if you watch this trailer, nothing else is going to be left to be spoiled for you. Like this barely scratches the surface of what we know about the story. Clearly, all of what happens at the very beginning of the game. And it's not really spoilers it's not something that's revealed to you that like wraps up a part of the story or is some kind of crazy revelation. Just Kraid showing up. It's only a big spoiler because Kraid hasn't been around for a while. It has nothing like there's no story. It's out of context, It's not like a really terrible kind of spoiler. So anyone saying that, oh, it was totally horrible, they showed that off, like that kind of ridiculous that they would say there's no other surprises left. If anything, this trailer had me asking more questions. It didn't give me more answers. I was like, oh, damn, if Kraid's back, I wonder who else is back. I wonder what this Dark Chozo's doing and how crazy strong it is compared to Samus, blah, blah, and all the gameplay. Like, it gave me more questions than it did answers. So in that way, it was the best kind of spoiler. So I really like the trailer. And you actually, what your experience was a perfect example why I think the trailer is good, is because if you're not a dedicated Metroid fan, you wouldn't have no idea that these were spoilers. It just looks like a cool, awesome trailer. You're like, oh, I'm going to go get that. I'm going to play that. It looks cool. So I saw people freaking out. I'm like, most people have no idea that this is a big deal. They probably saw Kraid. They're like, oh, cool, Kraid. They have no idea. They don't care. So like people are like freaking out. I'm like, relax, man. And first of all, the video game. And second of all, like, you're really that mad that you couldn't experience like Kraid showing? I mean, it's Kraid, okay? Like, it's not like Jesus showing up. It's just like the big lizard monster from Super Metroid, okay? Like, I mean, some people have some crazy like love for the character. That's fine, whatever. Or you just like the character in general. And I think Kraid's cool too, but it's not a story spoiler, not a crazy spoiler. If anything, I think it was really awesome that they put together this trailer to show off some. I mean, how could you not show off that cutscene? You put that cutscene together, you got to advertise with that, man. Like, that is just an obvious get. So I love this trailer. I think it It didn't spoil anything significant as far as I'm concerned. No one's gonna care in a week or two that Kraid is in the game. Like, no one cares. I saw some people like, oh my god, I wish I could have seen these or got these abilities, on my own. Like, there's the missile upgrades. Like, she's gonna get them. It's Metroid. It's literally the whole point of the game is to get her basic upgrades. And like the whole point of this game, in terms of what the surprises are going to be, is what are the Chozo doing? Like, how is the story going to wrap up? Are the X still around? Are the Metroid still around? Is Ridley going to show up? Like, all this other, blah, blah. Like, there's tons of other stuff that has not been revealed, that's not been spoiled, that has not been, the surprise has been given away, anything like that. So there's still a ton left in the story we don't know. I think this looks really cool. It showed off like awesome, like, cinematics and gameplay. I mean, dude, the air dashing, that was sick. How do you not show that off? You have to show that off. So yeah, I think it was necessary to not only look how many people got talking, all the articles got written. Hardcore dedicated fans are, happy because they got to see some cool stuff, and maybe some of them are a little mad because it got spoiled, whatever. I think it's a vocal minority. They got to see Kraid's back, and other people who aren't as invested got to just see a cool ass trailer, and that probably convinced them even more to get this game. So yeah, I think it was a great trailer.
Yeah, listen, I echo a lot of what you said. I feel like, because I notice this more with movies. Obviously, I host a pop culture podcast, so this is more of my wheelhouse. But like, I have friends that like swear off of trailers. They don't want to see anything. They don't want to be spoiled about anything. There's definitely instances in my life where like I wish I hadn't seen something in a movie trailer. Like, I think back to that Civil War trailer that like revealed that Spider-Man was going to be in the movie. Spoiler alert:
Spider-Man's in that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah, spoiler for a 5-year-old movie at this point. Oh man.
Well, so have you seen the new Spider-Man trailer?
Does the bear shit in the woods? Yes, I have.
Okay. So here's the thing. So like, I feel the same way about this. Right? I think that's a really cool. Like, that's even probably more of a spoiler just because of how crazy it is. I don't think it's that crazy that Kraid's back. Yeah. But like, to have Doc Ock back and like, Green Goblin, but not only those characters, but the specific iterations of those characters is more of a spoil. But even then, you see Doc Ock show up, and I'm like, oh man, what's Doc Ock gonna do? Like, I'm not mad that I now know about it. I'm excited because I want to experience it. Because I've always, in a lot of ways, and maybe this is why I don't have a big problem with most spoilers. There are some spoilers where I don't want, the ending revealed, for example, obviously. But
yeah,
some aspects of it I don't mind because it's more about at least for me, it's my own perspective, it's more about the journey than the destination a lot of the time. For Metroid Dread, now that I know that Kraid boss fight is in the game, I'm excited to go and experience it myself. Sure, like the surprise would have been cool, but I also have some enjoyment from this too. So I don't think either one is necessarily better than the other. So that's kind of how I've been feeling. I think overall I think it's better to overshare than to undershare in this case. At the end of the day, Metroid's not Zelda, it's not Pokemon, it's not Mario, it's not Animal Crossing. It won't necessarily sell on its name. And Nintendo historically has not really pushed the Metroid series very hard or marketed it very hard. I mean, the best-selling Metroid game only sold 2.45 million units, Metroid Prime, whatever. It's Metroid has not sold a ton, and Nintendo has not pushed it a lot. So I'm very happy to see them constantly tweeting about it. When I see them tweeting at like 8 a.m. and they're like, Samus can use the morph ball to go. I'm like, what are you doing? But I'd rather them do that than do nothing. So I'd love the oversharing than the undershare. I'd rather the people be talking about Metroid and be mad about spoilers than them not talking about Metroid at all. So overall, I think it's a net positive for the marketing of the game and for the series.
Yeah, listen, and if you're curious, the trailer again is plastered all over Nintendo social media. Again, yeah. they've been pushing this game hard, like you said. Like listen, as a longtime Metroid fan, I'm sure, like you just mentioned, it's a little uncanny valley. That that's why I made the stepfather reference before. It's like Nintendo has been so nonchalant with the Metroid IP for the last however many years that I'm sure it's both exciting and also a little weird to see this often forgotten franchise just kind of being in the forefront.
Yeah, it is, man. Honestly it is surreal, but it feels a little familiar because it used to be this way, like back in the 2000s. Like, I remember when I first became a Metroid fan as a kid, that was like the golden age of Metroid, man. We had Metroid Prime. We just actually, not to show my own show, but we actually just did an episode on like the golden age of Metroid. Like from 2002 to 2007, you had Fusion, you had Prime, you had Prime 2, you had Prime 3, you had Hunters, you had Pinball, you had Zero Mission, you had commercials, you had magazine stuff, you had connectivity between, like, Metroid was all over the place. You had the first Hunt demo packaged with the DS as it launched. That was one of the hugest things.
Oh yeah, I
So
forgot about
you
that.
know, Hunters was one of the biggest Wi-Fi games and was constantly pushed alongside Mario Kart DS and Animal Crossing Wild World. It's one of the biggest, you know, games you had to have when you played Wi-Fi connection, when you played Wi-Fi. So, you know, Metroid Prime 3 was on like the we would you like to play, or we would like to play commercials, if you remember those.
Yes, I do.
You know, so like it had its thing, and obviously Trilogy came out eventually. So there was a time when Metroid was pushed like this, and did seem like Nintendo cared, and then it didn't happen again for like a decade. And I think we're getting back to that, and I'm hoping that like Dread and Prime 4 really instill a lot of confidence in Nintendo to keep giving us some more Metroid. And so far so good. I'm happy to see this. It is surreal, but it does feel a little familiar, and I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to have it back, because yeah, it's cool to see them talking about Metroid. They never talk about Metroid, man. Like, it's I'm a fan of all. I mean, I'm a fan of like Halo, and now like Destiny and all, you know, all these other franchises where they have no problem shilling their game. And then I'm a fan of Metroid. I'm like, man, just like throw me a bone, just give me a tweet. And now they're throwing a huge, they're unrolling tweets out here. I'm like, yeah, give me all the trailers.
Yeah,
Spoil it all for me. I don't care.
Yeah, listen, I'm super excited for this game. Again, as a fringe Metroid fan, I'm very excited to sink my teeth into this game because, you know, like I said, I'm taken in. I'm ready to experience some new things. I haven't really sat down and played a Metroid game in maybe close to like 10, 15 years. So I'm very excited to sink my teeth into this game because it looks dope. I'm so excited. So remember, it drops October 8th, not October 10th.
Yes.
So, but you know, we move along here to a topic that I thought was pretty funny because it is pretty fitting, you know, for the Switch to be like criminally late to the party on things. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Pokemon TV app is now on the Nintendo Switch. If you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with Pokemon TV, it is a Pokemon streaming service that streams, you know, various episodes of the anime. You can watch a lot of the competition stuff. You can watch VGC. You can watch the trading card game competitions from Worlds and Nationals and everything on their services. And I think that now they just introduced like a children's like section where there's a I forget what the Pokemon is. It's like a Gen 5. It's a Gen 8 like rock type Pokemon. It's like on it's I don't know, it's singing Wheels in a Bus Go Round and Round. It was very strange, but I guess it's for the kids. But yeah, this is it's in a weird you know, entry to the streaming wars. This is now available on Nintendo Switch, where services such as Netflix are not, or Twitch is not. But you have Hulu on the Switch. Hulu on the Switch is cool though. But yeah, Dak, are you going to be downloading the Pokemon TV app on your Switch anytime soon?
Dude, if I wasn't on the show tonight and didn't read this document with this question in front of me, I would have had no idea that this was even a remotely a thing happening in the universe right now. I didn't even know that there was a Pokemon TV, or that there was a need for it on the Switch or whatever. Like, this is cool. I mean, there's no net. I mean, look, I'm getting a Steam Deck, so my Steam Deck's gonna have Netflix, it's gonna have Hulu, it's gonna have Amazon Prime, and it's probably gonna have Pokemon TV if I really wanted it to. So I'm not too concerned. Hey, I'm happy for the kids. They get their Gen 8 rock monster singing Wheels of the Bus Go Round and Round on the Switch in between their games of that new Pokemon Legends game coming out, which actually looks pretty decent. Looking forward to that and the remakes. So maybe they'll probably advertise it alongside that stuff. I have no idea if they even care that much, but that's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I honestly feel the same way. I was just because I think I used Pokemon TV like once or twice by accident or whatever, because I
have used it though.
I have used it. I'm actually downloading it right now on my Switch for the culture. But yeah, I actually watched a video that kind of like went through it, and like, number one, they have like certain like blocks of the anime, like just like, oh, like if you want to watch like, you know, the Hoenn saga, like, you know, click on this and it'll show you like, you know, 16 episodes of like, you know, the Generation 3 anime, but like they're not in sequential order. So like it'll be like, oh, here's episode 4, here's episode 16, here's episode 60, here's episode 3. And it's just like, what? Like, what are we getting out of this? Like, I understand Pokemon as an anime medium is like not very like sequential. It's pretty monster of the week type beat, but like that's weird. Like, I haven't really explored into like the VGC side of stuff, and obviously I'm not a child, therefore I am not going to be watching the educational television style things. I think if people are into this, cool, I guess. Like, this is one of those things where like you mentioned, like the Steam Deck's going to have like all the streaming services, at least the ones that matter, you know, on it at launch. And
this
like,
matters, man. This is important.
It is important. Listen, do I need another device to watch Netflix on? No, but like this is the device I carry around with me very often. You know, I the Nintendo 3DS had Netflix on it, but the Switch doesn't. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing. Apparently, I saw rumors that they're finally going to add like Game Boy Advance games to the Switch, and I'm like, oh, really? Like, finally? Like, how long has the Switch been out for? Like, just put them on. Just like download. I could email you the emulator, Nintendo, and you could put them on the Switch. We know you use the emulators. We know you download the ROMs. And just put them on. We know that's what you did for the Mario collection. Like, just no one, like, we don't care. Just do it. You know, like, I don't understand what the holdup is, but apparently they have some gripe. I do have a question for you though, since we're on Pokemon. Did you play Pokemon Unite when that dropped?
I did, and I still currently am. I think this game's so much fun.
So you are still playing, because that was my follow-up. Is, are you still playing Pokemon Unite? And you are.
Yeah, okay. No, I am. I have a dedicated group of friends that like, you know, still
really play
this game and want to play it. Yeah, I'm so casual when it comes to MOBAs. I've said on other podcasts that I played League of Legends in college for like a week because like a girl that I liked like was playing it, and like I couldn't pretend to be entertained, and like so like the MOBA genre is like so foreign to me. And listen, I think as with most things, you know, I would. If you slap a Pokemon IP on it, I'll probably play it. And I've been playing Unite, and I'm surprised at how much I enjoy this game. Like it frustrates me like a MOBA should. It's, you know, solo queue is toxic like a MOBA should, and it's a lot of fun. Like, I don't know, have you played much of it?
I have played some. That's why I was curious. I think I only played for a day or two, and I think I like stopped just as I unlocked ranked, I believe. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. It didn't like get that spark in me. I was like, oh, I gotta keep playing this, you know. But maybe it's because I didn't have a dedicated group like you do. I just was curious. I wasn't sure if people were gonna keep with it, even though it was a Pokemon game. But to be fair, I mean, it's a Pokemon game, so I should have known better. I just wasn't sure what the longevity of it was. But if I'm gonna play a MOBA now, I'm playing that. I'm not gonna go back to League now. So.
Yeah, I really hope that this game does have some semblance of legs, because like my best experience with this game is if you're trying to play this game and you want to, you know, play it with people. You have to play with at least like 4 people that you know, because like I've tried playing, you know, ranked and standard matches with like, you know, 3 of my friends. We're just like, yeah, you know, the 3 of us know what we're doing. We can figure it out, and hopefully as long as the other, you know, 2 people aren't dog shit, you know, we can figure it out. And spoiler alert, more often than not, they end up being dog shit or literal children or AFK. And like,
isn't Zapdos still a big deal?
Zapdos is still a big deal. Yeah. Like that's pretty like, you know, the rubber band AI with Zapdos is pretty crazy. Like the game can really be won and or lost in the last like 2 minutes of the game. So that aspect of it is a little weird. But it's still so much fun. I'm enjoying it. They just released Blastoise today. I haven't gotten a chance to play with him yet, but he looks super dope. I love, you know, the concept of the costumes. I've resisted. I've managed to spend $0 on this game, Dak. So
nice.
I'm trying to keep it that way. Listen, as much as I would love to, you know, obtain Machamp wearing floral shorts and a lei, I will not be spending my hard-earned money on that. No, thank you.
See, I have a problem with that. Is that eventually, when if I enjoy a game and it's like free to play, I'll be like, well, you know what? I'll just pretend that this is a full price game, and I'll put $50 or $60 into it, and then use that to buy stuff. I'm like, well, now it's just a full price game. It's the same thing. Like, who cares? So, maybe if I go back, because I have been thinking, that was another reason why I asked, is because I know they just released Blastoise, or they're going to release Blastoise, and I was like, I gotta play Blastoise. Like, that's right up my alley, because they have that's another thing too about the game, is that they don't have a lot of Pokemon I'm terribly excited about. Like, they have like Snorlax and Slowbro, and then they have Blastoise, which are a bunch of Pokemon I like, but there's a bunch of other Pokemon I just don't care about. So I'm just like, whatever. But now I'm thinking about getting Blastoise, and then I saw that Blastoise costume. He looked, he has the hat, and he looks spiffy and whatnot. And I'm like, ooh, like, I might have to drop a little bit for that, like, I'm trying to look fresh out on the battlefield. So I don't know, maybe I might have to give it a second chance. You have to let me know when you're playing again, because I'd love to play sometime with you, bro.
Yeah, dude, anytime. I got you. Like, me and my friends are always just constantly looking for bodies to play with, so I'll definitely keep you in mind for that. But yeah, listen, it's great. I'm very excited. Being a Pokemon fan definitely comes with its own like red flags, but I'm very excited for the remakes to be coming out in a few months.
Yes.
Legends Arceus looks dope. I'm so excited to be literally killed by Pokemon in the wild. Like, it's what
I'm trying to throw hands.
Yeah. I'm definitely trying to punch a bear in the face. Like, that's 110% my goal. But listen, my man, thank you so much for joining me today on Glenn's show when he's not here, because he even Jon Stewart has to take off sometimes. He has to let his other co-host drive the show. So Glenn, you should take vacation more often whenever you get around to this.
I was gonna say, I feel like we did Glenn's show better than Glenn does, so we should just take over. We should just take over the show. Like, this is now our podcast. Like, we have now taken it and absorbed it into our network. And sorry, Glenn, you'll have to start up a new show. It's you'll figure it out. It's all right.
Yeah, I just Christopher Columbus Glenn's podcast, so have fun with that. But
he'll start Glentendo Podcast 2. We'll have to compete over that.
Well, then it would be the Super Glentendo Podcast.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. See that we're already giving them ideas. We're already starting them off strong. You should be happy.
Yeah, listen, that checks in the mail, buddy. I hope. But as Dak, let the people know at home where they can find you. So, because you're an excellent guest, you're a great commentator, you're a homie. So please let the people know at home where they can find you on the internet.
No, thank you so much for the kind words, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun. I honestly looked and I was like, damn, hour passed that quick. Like, that was,
right.
We could have kept going, so I really appreciate it. We got to do it again sometime soon on our new show here, or maybe on your show or on our other show. So,
hey, listen, new season of Survivor's coming up. So, I mean,
yes, we got to talk about that. I'm very excited. I'm still trying to get on the show.
Yeah, same.
we got to make that happen. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at DakCity_, DAKCITY_. You can find me on Twitch at the same, at DakCity_. And that's where I do my stuff, on Twitch, on Twitter. I stream sometimes. I'm doing a lot of commentary, Valorant mostly lately, some Smash. I'm getting into Halo soon. But yeah, feel free to check me out, or not, or whatever.
Get in on your Dak stock early while you can, folks.
Yeah, man, just come through and we'll chat about, gaming, bro.
Yeah, gaming for sure.
With an E.
Yeah, because you gotta. Yeah, but again, you can follow me on Twitter at KoopaNJ. KoopaNJ across platforms. I host a pop culture podcast. I actually talked extensively with one of my friends about the history of crappy dating reality television shows that dominated the late 2000s, and we talked a little bit about Survivor. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Survivor too. So
I was gonna say, I didn't plug my own podcast.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I just realized. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm so bad at this, but yeah. Also, I'm also the co-host of the Omega Metroid Podcast, the only and best weekly Metroid podcast available on all podcast platforms. Wherever you get your favorite podcast, you can get Omega Metroid. And yeah, we put out weekly episodes with myself and my man Andy Spiteri. And yeah, we talk about Metroid literally every single week on the calendar. We're talking a lot of Metroid Dread. We just did the golden age of Metroid. We rank the games, we ranked like weapons, we just ranked the soundtracks. We did an in-depth dive on the history of Metroid Dread just before Metroid Dread was launched or revealed. So you can go back and go into the history of the games. We talked about cut content. We talked about so much. We're like 75 episodes in. Definitely check us out. Omega Metroid Pod on Twitter at Omega Metroid Pod. So yeah, check us out.
Yeah, listen, give it a listen for sure. But yeah, listen, that's going to be it for the show. And again, give some love to the friendos over at Patreon, patreon.com/Glentendo. You can get early access to the show on Thursdays if you sign up for the $2 friendo level. And yeah, listen, the show goes live to the public on Sundays across all podcasting platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If there is a podcasting app that exists, you can find a Glentendo Podcast on it. So make sure to do so. Again, 48 episodes of quality Nintendo/Smash Brothers content for you guys to enjoy. So it's going to be it for our show this week. And we'll be back with our regularly scheduled programming maybe next week. So take care, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful evening.
Thank you guys. See you next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. You can follow me on Twitter at Super Glentendo. The Glentendo Podcast is a weekly Nintendo/Smash community podcast. Our aim is to have galaxy brain conversations on all things Nintendo. If you like the show, please consider becoming a friendo and supporting on patreon.com/Glentendo. Friendos get early access to the show each Thursday. The show then becomes free to all the following Sunday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts right now and you actually like the show, please give us a good review. It helps boost our visibility so more people can find the show. This show is brought to you by our amazing producers, Naomi Eduardo, In a Yellow Flash, and the legendary Riz.